All right, let's jump right in. Today, we're pulling back the curtain on the logistical heart of SAP's sales and distribution. We're talking about a system so powerful, it basically acts like a company's own mission control, making these massive, split-second decisions. So, let's see how it actually works.
So picture this. A customer order just hits your system. Seems simple enough, right? But that one request instantly triggers this huge business question. How are we going to fulfill this? Do we grab it from our own warehouse? Do we need to fire up a new production order? Or do we just tell our supplier to ship it directly to the customer? Believe it or not, the answer to that multi-million-dollar question gets decided in a flash.
And that split-second decision is made right here inside what we're going to call SAP's mission control. Think of it as this central hub that dictates the entire logistical journey of an order, from the moment it's created all the way to delivery.
Now, to really get a handle on mission control, you first have to understand the structure of the order itself. Every single sales document has these layers of information, but the real instructions, the ones that actually make things happen, they're kind of buried down in the lowest level of detail. A good way to think about a sales document is like a flight. It's got to have a crew to get off the ground, right? And each part of that document has a very specific job to do. So, the hierarchy is pretty simple, but it is absolutely crucial. You've got the header, which tells us who the customer is. That's the dossier. Then you've got the item level, which is like the cargo manifest. It tells us what they ordered. But the real magic, the real action is in the schedule line. This is the flight instruction manual. It dictates the how and the when, the exact quantity, and the exact date for fulfillment. Without this, that order is completely grounded. It's not going anywhere. Okay, so if the schedule line holds all the instructions, where in the world are those instructions actually written? Let's go behind the scenes to the configuration panel where they're generated. Welcome to Mission Control, or in SAP speak, it's transaction code VOV6. This is it. This is the place where you, as the consultant or the analyst, get to define all the rules. Every single logistical scenario you can think of, from a basic shipment to a really complex return, is configured right here. Now, I'll be honest, VOV6 can look a little intimidating when you first open it up, so let's break it down into 3 key control panels. The first one handles inventory and movement. That's all about the physical flow of goods. The second panel manages procurement and planning, basically deciding if we need to buy something or make it. And the third handles availability, which tells the rest of the business what we actually need. Let's take a look at the most important switch on each of these panels. And this is where it gets really fascinating. A single change, just flipping one of these little switches, can completely redirect the flow of goods and money. You can create entirely new business processes from the exact same sales order. Just look at this. We've got 2 completely different business models, side by side. Over on the left, that's your standard order, where we ship from our own stock. The system triggers this using a code called Movement Type 601. But look at the right. That's a dropship order. Notice the switches are totally different. Instead of a movement type, the system is told to automatically create a purchase order for our vendor. I mean, think about that. 2 totally different fulfillment strategies, all determined by just a few settings on one screen. This really shows you the power of that one little movement type switch. For a normal outbound order, the system uses code 601. Stock goes out the door, and our inventory goes down. Simple. But what happens when a customer returns something? Well, the system just flips the switch to a different code, 651. And just like that, the entire process is perfectly reversed. The stock comes in, and our returns inventory goes up. The system knows whether goods are coming or going, all based on this one single setting. Okay, so we've seen all the switches, but how does the system know which mission profile, which set of switches to use for each order line? It can't be manual every time. That would be crazy. Well, it uses this sort of automatic flight planner called schedule line determination. And the logic is actually pretty simple. The system looks at just 2 things: the item category, which tells us what kind of sale this is, and the MRP type, which tells us how we plan for this specific product. Do we keep it in stock, or do we buy it on demand? It just combines those 2 bits of information to choose the perfect set of instructions. This logic ends up creating this whole cast of characters, and honestly, it really helps to give them personalities. CP is your gold standard, the reliable workhorse that always sells from stock and keeps the planners in the loop. CN is kind of the sneaky one. It also sells from stock, but it keeps it off the radar of the planning department. CS is the ultimate delegator, just saying, vendor, you ship it. And DN is the gatekeeper, managing all the products that are coming back.
Understanding these personalities is seriously the key to troubleshooting things fast.
So, why did we just go so deep into all these technical settings? Because when a process breaks, and it will, mission control is almost always the first place you need to look. This is where you can stop those costly errors before they even happen. Let's take a super common mission alert. A third-party order gets saved, but that critical purchase requisition for the vendor, it never gets created. The process just fails silently. So where do you even start to look?
The solution? You go straight back to mission control. That's VOV6. And you check the switches for that CS category. Is the order type set correctly? Is the purchasing item category set? A single blank field here is like a broken switch on the control panel. It just breaks the whole connection and the entire automated process grinds to a halt.
And that really brings us to the biggest takeaway here. A complex, multi-million-dollar business strategy, something like a direct-to-customer dropshipping operation. It's not ultimately defined by warehouses or a fleet of trucks or big logistics contracts. In the world of SAP, it's defined by a single configuration line in mission control. If you can master these settings, you can master the flow of the entire business. So, what process are you going to check first?